could keep the signs and flags away from the camera so that we can have a nice live stream going, that would be great. So if you're standing in front of the media tower, maybe move a little bit. Thank you. How's everyone feeling? We're gonna keep chanting. Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! And from the sea to the river! Palestine will live forever! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! There is only one solution! Intifada revolution! Intifada revolution! Intifada revolution! There is only one solution! Intifada revolution! Resistance is justified! When people are occupied! Resistance is justified! When people are colonized! Resistance is justified! From Lebanon to Palestine! Resistance is justified! From Yemen to Palestine! There is only one solution! Intifada revolution! Free our prisoners, free them all! Break the chains and let them fall! Free our prisoners, free them all! Break the chains and let them fall! Break the chains and let them fall! Free our prisoners, free them all! غير الثورة ما في حل. وعلي نعلي الصوت. اللي بيهتف ما بيموت. علي الصوت. اللي بيهتف ما بيموت.
Give it up for yourselves. Free Palestine. I'm proud to be here alongside of you to say that today the war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu should and must be arrested. Not only must there be a ceasefire now, but Congress should cut all aid to Israel. There is no possibility of looking at this a different way than as a terrible genocide and war crime. Tens of thousands of people have been killed because of Netanyahu. Hundreds of thousands of people have been injured because of Netanyahu. Every university in Gaza has been destroyed because of Netanyahu. The healthcare system has been destroyed because of Netanyahu. And we know that it's not just Netanyahu, it's the U.S. Congress and the Biden administration. This isn't an Israeli genocide, it's a U.S. and Israeli genocide. The blood is on the hands of Joe Biden, Benjamin Netanyahu, Mike Johnson, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and Kamala Harris. And it's important for us to know that despite these people in Congress saying that they're the so-called representatives of this country, that they don't represent us or the majority of people in the United States. Time and time again, poll after poll has shown us that the majority of people in this country are demanding an immediate end to the genocide being perpetrated in Gaza. We've seen organizations of all types, from the UAW to the NAACP to the African Methodist Episcopal Church to hundreds and thousands of others who have demanded an end to the war and an end to weapon shipments to Israel. We are the majority. So we thank you again. My name is Eugene Puryear from the Answer Coalition. I want to also let you know that we are being watched in every corner of the globe today. So we love your enthusiasm, but remember, if you have a big flag, to keep it a little bit off to the side of the press riser, because these are the cameras that are taking us to the people of the world who are also demanding an immediate end to the genocide in Gaza, an end to the occupation of Palestine. Freedom for Palestine. So we say free Palestine, end all aid to Israel, end the occupation now, free the political prisoners, and most important, we're letting him know, Benjamin Netanyahu, you are a war criminal, you are wanted, and if they want to arrest you, we're here to conduct a citizen's arrest on you for the crimes you have perpetrated. I'd like to bring to the stage now Rama Ali Kassad from the U.S. Palestinian Community Network.
Washington, D.C. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to reaffirm our commitment to Palestine? Are you ready to reaffirm our commitment to liberation? Are we ready? For almost 10 months and 75 years, Palestinians have been resisting the imperialist
capitalist, Zionist project. And for 10 months and 75 years, we have stood alongside them from here, the belly of the beast. We stand on the shoulders of those who came from before us. And we will continue building and sustaining this movement until the total liberation of Palestine. And today we are here to remind these war criminals, to remind these butchers, to remind these cowards, your days in power are numbered. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to continue this movement until liberation, until the liberation of Palestine? Today, the butcher and the war criminal and their partners in war crimes are mingling together. Today, they are here attempting to wield their ruling class corrupt institutional power to try to silence us. They are here to try to normalize their corruption, to normalize their racist agenda, to grasp onto their losing narrative and try hard to wipe away their losses. We won't let it happen. Are we ready? Are we ready? However, we are here. We, the people of defiance, the people of consciousness, being guided by our kin, our comrades in Gaza, and here we will remind the forces of empire that we will never back down. Brothers, sisters, comrades, and kins, we have sharpened the contradictions. Yes, there are two sides to this genocide. There are two sides. There's the side of the oppressor, and there is the side of the oppressed. The side of the oppressor are the ones who want to maintain a white, supremacist, imperialist, capitalist structure. The side of the oppressed is the side that is resisting, that is fighting, that will continue struggling for freedom and liberation. The ruling class has chosen their side, but guess what? We have chosen ours. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! And our next speaker is from the American Muslims for Palestine, Aya Ziada.
Good morning, Washington, D.C. On this day, 102 years ago, the League of Nations assigned the mandate of Palestine to Britain with the 1918 Balfour Declaration. This would be the start of Israel's brutal occupation of Palestine 102 years ago.
Last week, the International Court of Justice declared the Israeli occupation of Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem illegal. They also unequivocally found that Israel is committing apartheid against Palestinians in the occupied Palestinian territories. This ruling is not just a validation for what we Palestinians have been screaming for decades. It is a clarion call to the world that the time for action has been overdue. For too long, Palestinians have endured unspeakable suffering under the shadow of occupation, settler colonialism, and apartheid. The ICJ's decision shines a light on the truth that has been obscured by political maneuvering and willful ignorance. Yet the true measure of justice will be seen not in the proclamation of law, but in its enforcement. Over and over, we've been forced to confront a damning reality. The United States has played a central role in enabling Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza and its broader occupation of Palestine. Our tax dollars fund the bombs that rain down on Palestinians. Our political leaders offer unwavering support to a regime that systematically oppresses and brutalizes an entire people, now recognized by international law. For Congress to allow a war criminal like Bibi to enter the halls of our legislative chambers, let alone our country, is nothing short of disgraceful. The occupation existed long before him, we all know that, but Netanyahu's hands are stained with the blood of thousands upon thousands of Palestinians. The 9-month-long genocide of Gaza, marked by relentless bombings and blockades, bears his signature. And yet our leaders, those who claim to stand for justice and democracy, have not only welcomed him, but have met with him, tactically endorsing his crimes. President Biden, who's set to meet with Netanyahu tomorrow, despite knowing the absolute truth for months, and every member of Congress who's facilitated this visit, not only stands complicit in these atrocities, but is single-handedly responsible for them. We must channel our outrage into action. It's not enough to condemn these actions with words. We must demand that our leaders uphold international law and human rights, no matter how tiring it may become for us. The occupation and apartheid must end, and the enforcement of the ICJ ruling is a critical step in this journey. We must pressure our government to cease its support for Israel's crimes, both politically and financially, and hold those responsible accountable, like Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a moment of truth for all of us. Will we stand by as our country aids and abets genocide? Will we allow our leaders to betray the principles of justice and humanity? Or will we rise united and resolute to demand an end to this complicity? Louder! We must rally our communities, educate our peers, and hold our elected officials accountable on a daily basis. The world is watching, and history will judge us by our actions or our inaction. Let us honor the resilience and courage of the Palestinian people by refusing to be silent, no matter how long it takes. Let us demand justice, not just in words, but in our deeds. We owe it to the Palestinian people, we owe it to ourselves as American taxpayers, and to the future generations to fight for a world where justice prevails, and that begins by making it clear that we, as Americans, tax-paying citizens, do not welcome war criminals of any kind into our country or the halls of legislative chambers that our tax dollars provide for. Thank you, and free Palestine.
Hello to everyone. How are we feeling? The weather is not so beautiful, but it's a wonderful day to confront fascism and imperialism in all its forms. My name is Muhammad, and I'm with the Palestinian Youth Movement, DC, Maryland, and Virginia chapter, and it's my pleasure to be one of the MCs for today. Almost 10 months later, after all the barbarity, all the fascist cruelty, we are more united than ever and stronger than ever, and they are weaker than ever before. That's the truth. And we promised, as soon as Netanyahu announced his visit, that we will not allow him one moment's peace. And I am so proud to announce a couple of actions that have occurred so far. One, he and the Zionist delegation woke up in their meeting room at the Watergate. They woke up to maggots and bugs and mealworms. Like they deserve. And as we speak right now, 4 intersections around the Capitol have been blockaded by the people, for the people. And the people are only getting started. We are only getting started. And it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker today, Zaina Hutchinson, from the Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee.
Good morning, Washington. Okay, maybe we need a different chant. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! We are meters away from a war criminal being celebrated. They're not only celebrating a war criminal, they are protecting a war criminal. The irony is that Cop City built these metal cages to keep us, the people, out to protect the guilty. But what they don't realize is that we are the ones here, free with the truth and calling for justice, and they are the cowards, captive, literally and figuratively. Of genocide. We see you. We see you. Liberation is inevitable and accountability is coming. We protest a genocidal maniac, his supporters and enablers, and demand his arrest. But we will not give them the attention they so crave. Because despite them, we are here to uplift and center the Palestinian people in Gaza, in Tulkarem, in Al Khalil, in Jenin, in Nablus, in Ramallah, in Jaffa, in Haifa, in Bisan, in Bethlehem, in Mishkash, in Jericho, in Al-Quds, in all Palestinians and Palestinians in refugee camps and Gaza. Protest a genocidal maniac, his supporters and his enablers, and demand his arrest. But we uplift the memory of Muhammad Khan, whose last words were, "Bas ya habibi," while being mauled by an Israeli army dog and then left to bleed to death. And we uplift the memory of Hind Rajab, of Sidra Hassoune, and the tens of thousands of Palestinian children killed by the Zionist entity over decades. We protest a genocidal maniac, his supporters and his enablers, and call for his arrest. But we uplift and demand his arrest, but we uplift the thousands of Palestinians in all of the Zionist dungeons and torture camps. Let's make sure they hear us when we say, we don't ask permission to end genocide. We demand it. We don't ask for permission to end apartheid. We don't ask for permission to return to our homeland. We demand it. We don't ask for permission to free Palestine. Because liberation is a right, not a gift. Together we will not be denied. We will not back down. We will not be defeated. We will not surrender. We will not submit. Let's stay focused. Let's remember that Palestine unites us. Lastly, look around you. Each and every one of you is part of a just and historic movement. And it's called a movement because it can't be stagnant. It has to continue. Take care of yourselves and each other, because togetherness and justice is more powerful than any of their weapons. So while we are here powerfully together, let's remember and let them hear us in Gaza, in Palestine, and in every room and chamber in Congress when we say, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! I can see it, but you can't fully see it. There are thousands of people who are lining Pennsylvania Avenue to say no to the war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu. So if you're off on the sides and the sidewalks, if you can, fill into the street so we have the greatest possible manifestation for all of those who want to take photos, so we can see the sea of humanity that has come here to stand with the Palestinians today. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, a time comes when silence is betrayal, and we will not be silent in the face of a genocide. Dr. King spoke those words at Riverside Church in New York City. And I'm honored to bring to the stage, and I ask you to give a warm welcome to the Reverend Adrian Thorne, the senior minister from Riverside Church.
Good morning, good morning. We're so grateful to be here with you. We organized 9 busloads of believers of many faiths to be here today to stand with you. To stand with you against death and to proclaim life. To stand against destruction and proclaim peace. To stand against the United States Congress welcoming Benjamin Netanyahu and to proclaim there is another way. Shame. 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 There is no place in this land of the free and home of the brave for a war criminal to speak to the most powerful people in our nation. There is no place for Netanyahu, for whom the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant to address Congress and beseech our government for our tax dollars to add to a death toll already exceeding 40,000 human lives. Shame. Evil swept the land we call holy on October 7th, and evil continues to sweep the land. But let's be clear, beloveds, when we fight evil with evil, evil wins. Crimes against humanity are not welcome in these United States. Netanyahu and his death-dealing policies are not welcome in these United States. And we have gathered from all over the country to say we stand against giving legitimacy and a platform for Bibi to address our United States Congress. As followers of Jesus Christ, the Riverside Church grounds our justice belief in an understanding that all people are made in the image of a loving God, regardless of how they name God or if they name God at all. We refuse to pick one baby over another baby. We refuse to pick one grandpa over another grandpa. We condemn Islamophobia. We condemn anti-Semitism in all their hateful manifestations. Life, and we mourn all those killed in this ongoing brutality. I offer these words today for the freedom of our siblings in the Holy Land, as well as for our own freedom. In the words of Angela Davis, if Palestine can be free, then we all can be free. The Riverside Church in the city of New York calls for the release of all hostages, calls for the release of all prisoners being held in Israel without cause, calls for an immediate and adequate aid distribution to Gaza, and an immediate, just, and permanent ceasefire. We encourage all people of faith and all lovers of life to do the same. Amen. Free Palestine!
We have an update. Previously, I told you there were 4 intersections that have been blockaded by the people for Palestine. Now it's 5. Pennsylvania and 9th, Independence and 14th, North Carolina and Pennsylvania Southeast, Independence and 4th, and Union Station have all been claimed by the people. All I'll say is stay tuned. More to come. Now please give a warm and heartfelt welcome to our next speaker all the way from New York City, Rabbi David Feldman.
In our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. I'm here with a contingent of the rabbinic community, rabbis, scholars, and students from the New York, New Jersey area. We are here, we are troubled and disturbed when war criminal Netanyahu stands up to address the Congress of the United States. He comes here supposedly representing all Jews and claiming that the Jewish religion supposedly condones his movement and the actions it carries out. He claims that the Jewish people are supposedly in a danger from their supposed enemies, the Palestinians, that supposedly want to drive us all into the sea. This is misleading propaganda in order to drive American politicians to blind support to what he calls this supposed self-defense. Zionism does not represent Judaism. Judaism is a religion only, while Zionism is a purely political movement. The state of Israel does not represent world Jewry. We have masses of Jewish people worldwide who publicly oppose, condemn, everything Israel stands for. The Palestinian people are not the enemy of the Jewish people. We lived in peace in Palestine as in other Muslim countries prior to the 1920s, prior to the invention of Zionism, despite any differences of religion. It is the brutal, illegal and anti-Jewish occupation of Palestine which is causing death and destruction to Palestine and to the Jewish people. According to Judaism, Jewish people are in a divinely decreed exile. We are forbidden to create any sovereignty by physical means. We are forbidden to kill, steal, or oppress any people, especially the Palestinian people who are kind to us for so long. We condemn the movement of Zionism. We condemn Netanyahu when we say, your blood is covered, your hands are covered in blood. If we truly want to see a better future, we must understand and realize what is the root cause to the problem. It is occupation of Palestine, which is destroying everyone involved. Certainly we need a permanent ceasefire, but the ceasefire is way not enough. We need a total end to this entire occupation of Palestine. And then, and only then, we can hope to see once again that historic peace be in the future, God willing, inshallah. Thank you very much.
One more time for Rabbi Feldman, please. Now, previously I told you there were 5 intersections that were taken. Let's add one more. The intersection that has been claimed, the 6th intersection that has been claimed by the people in the name of Palestine and against the war criminals, Constitution and 10th. Let's keep the energy up for our comrades putting themselves on the line, for our people in Gaza, and to let everyone inside that cursed building know what we're about. And let's keep that same energy as we welcome our next speaker, Nihab Awad from the Council on American Islamic Relations.
Assalamu alaikum. I know it's a sad day in American history. You know why? Because there is a war criminal in town. They call him a prime minister, but what do we call him? A criminal. A criminal is at loose on Capitol Hill. Shame on our Congress, on the leadership. Instead of getting his testimony today, he should be delivered to The Hague to give his testimony about his war crimes over there. Ladies and gentlemen, this war criminal Netanyahu has a long history of crimes against humanity, has a long history of manipulating our own government and exploiting America's generosity. For the past 30 years, he has been actively manipulating our government to conduct wars in Iraq, and we see the results of devastating war on Iraqi people and the Iraqi land, and even our own economy here in the United States. And now, today, in a few hours, he will deliver a blistering, manipulative, deceptive speech to crack down more on the Palestinian people and destroying them, destroying their lives, their properties, and their own future state. Not only that, he will work hard on his speech to manipulate our government to conduct a war with Iran. This war criminal has said in many speeches, and I paraphrase, he believes that the American people are stupid and they can be manipulated and can be directed the way he wants it. Are the American people stupid? We are not stupid. We have exposed his deceptive tactics. We have exposed his criminality. He is a danger to the region, even to the Israeli people themselves, and he is a danger to American national interests and to the world's security and safety. Today, we applaud members of Congress who could have been in that House, the House of People, applauding a war criminal, but they decided to boycott them, and we appreciate these people and we thank them. If the Vice President, Kamala Harris, found a way to skip the criminal's speech, what about those people who are planning to go there? Shame on them. Brothers and sisters, as I conclude, protesting like this and protests are magnificent. We are voicing our opinion, and we are showing that the American public will never ever be fooled again by Netanyahu and his extremist government. However, I have to challenge you today. Are you willing to be challenged? In addition to this showing, a powerful showing, the U.S. media, international media is here witnessing your power, your voice, your advocacy, standing up for justice for everyone, including for the Palestinian people. You are here with your energy, but I challenge you today to thank those who skipped the criminal's speech today. I challenge you to call those people who applauded his speech and invited him to protest their hypocrisy and normalization of criminal work and the devastating war against the Palestinian people. I challenge you not to give up on the election in November. I challenge you to go up and show up, because the uncommitted movement was able to sideline President Biden, and we have to continue. We have to continue to put up our demands for ceasefire, for ending the U.S. military aid to Israel, for the U.S. complicity in these war crimes, and for the U.S. to commit to rebuild Gaza and work for a peace process that will lead to the creation of the Palestinian state on their own homeland. I, as a Palestinian, I thank you all for being upright, for being courageous, for speaking up truth to power when it is difficult, especially for our brothers and sisters from the Jewish community, students, and everybody from every background. Thank you all for being the hope for the Palestinian people and for rising up to wake up America from its delusion. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Let's hear it one more time for Nihad Awad from CARE. guys are aware, you can see the effects of these masses that have gathered here. But I'm hearing that Constitution is effectively shut down by our presence here alone from 11th here. That is why the state is spending tens and tens of millions. For what? Because they fear the people. Because they know their power's weak. And that's what we're doing here today. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, the president of the Palestinian American Organizations Network, Mohammed Abdel Salam. Please give it up for him as he comes on stage.
Good morning, DC. Let's let Netanyahu know. Netanyahu, you will know. Can you please chat with me? Netanyahu, you will see. Palestine will be free. Netanyahu, you will see. Palestine will be free. Cease fire now. Cease fire now. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. I would like to thank you all for being here today, driving the distance from all over, taking days off, taking time from your families to be here today. And I would like to give a shout out for our own organizations and our members who are driving and flying from Chicago, Detroit, Dearborn, Flint, Michigan, Youngstown, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, New Jersey, Tampa, Florida, Richmond, Virginia, and of course, Washington, D.C. area. Thank you all for being here. We are gathered here today on the 292nd day of the apartheid colonial regime assault on Gaza. Netanyahu thought it's going to be a cakewalk, and it has been the longest war Israel ever fought. If a small land like Gaza, less than 135 square miles, can hold Israel to a 292 days of war. Okay, imagine if all areas in the Middle East can gather together and pull together a unified front. Today, this genocide war had claimed almost 40,000 lives, mainly children and women, and more than 100,000 injured, and over 2.2 million displaced in Gaza, many of them 5 to 7 times over. 447 schools and universities and higher educational areas have been destroyed in the last 9 months. 81,000 tons of bombs have been dropped on Gaza. That's equal 5.5 times the Hiroshima nuclear power that dropped on Japan. There is no water, no drinking water, there is no electricity in Gaza. There are no food. All exits to Gaza has been blocked, and there's nothing can come in out of Gaza. Even the injured cannot leave. Over 230,000 residential units have been destroyed in Gaza. When the war stopped, many of these residents of Gaza will never have a place to live for years to come. Today, we are gathered here to tell Netanyahu, to tell our Congress, shame on you for harboring an international crime. Shame on Biden for giving him a visa. Netanyahu's visit to the United States is to get an approval to prolong the war and probably to open the northern front with Hezbollah. And he is going to prolong the war in Gaza till Trump will be elected, if he is elected in January, so Trump can give him permission to take an attack on Iran. Today we call on our elected officials for the following. 1, demand an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. Hold all arms sales and military aid to Israel. Support an international investigation into war crimes and hold the responsible accountable. Open all crossings into Gaza to allow the flow of humanitarian aid. And recognize the state of Palestine and support the Palestinian people's rights to self-determination. Thank you for standing together today. Let us continue the fight for justice, for peace, for freedom and independence for the Palestinian people, the free Gaza and free Palestine.
Give it up one more time for Muhammad. Washington, D.C., we have taken over another intersection. We are going all the way back to Pennsylvania and 7th. Give it up for yourselves. I have the honor to introduce the next speaker. He is from the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, the Executive Director, Ahmed Abu Zaid.
Hey, what's up, my people? I'm here to represent the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, an organization dedicated to ending all U.S. military aid to the colonial state of Israel. And today, July 24th, 2024, we are here to arrest a war criminal. Almost a full year of active genocide, live before our eyes. But Palestinians are not sacrificial lambs. We are fighting for our freedom. We are fighting for our lands, for our rights. We are fighting for our stolen past, but most especially for our liberated future. We reject Netanyahu not because he is more brutal or racist than those before him. We reject Netanyahu because he's exactly the manifestation of the colonial project known as Zionism. We reject Genocide Joe and the U.S. government's support of this monstrosity historically and today. Taxpayers here, you all in this crowd, you all joining us on the live stream, you all joining us via the internet are being bamboozled. We are told there's not enough money for our schools or teachers' salaries. There's not enough funding for healthcare in the United States. There's not enough funding for the houseless members of our community. Instead, they expand police budgets while building Cop City theme parks to continue to militarize our neighborhoods. They violate international law, U.S. law, and the laws of human dignity in order to continue their ruthless brutality. We are here to say, stop arming Israel! arming Israel! Stop arming Israel! The contradictions have been sharpened and are made more clear for any who seek to know the truth. Now, before I wrap up, I'm wondering if y'all heard the new Kendrick Lamar anthem, They Not Like Us? Okay, I want to try something. I want to read out a line, and then I want you to chant, They Not Like Us, 3 times. They fight to colonize, we fight to liberate. 3 times. Let's try that again. They fight to colonize, we fight to liberate. They fight to kill, we fight to live. They fight for hate, and we fight for love. The people of Gaza see you, the people of Palestine see you. Thank you so much for being with us. We won't stop until we stop arming Israel. Free Palestine! You know, anytime you see the war criminals in Congress, anytime they have their hearings at their hotels, at their homes, all around the United States, you always see one other organization that refuses to allow these war criminals to walk the streets and not be held accountable, and that is Code Pink. And just so you know, they were there this morning when Mr. Netanyahu left his hotel so that he would know the people are not going to allow him to be in Washington, D.C. without us coming out everywhere he is saying stop the genocide and end all U.S. aid to Israel. So please, if you can, give a warm welcome to Chris from Code Pink.
Charges brought against him not 3 months ago, not 4 months ago, not on October 7th, but in 2019. He had charges brought against him. This is not a year-long conflict. This is not a 6-month, 8-month. This is decades. This is generations of genocide against the Palestinian people. Shame. This is not the first time that this country has tried to legitimize war criminals, legitimize war crimes at the expense of the American people. This is not the first. We demand, we want to make it clear, the demands of the people. We want to make it so clear that every step that this government takes to justify war is a direct contradiction to the wants and needs of the American people. As my sister just said, we in this country, we have people who can't read. We have top cities being built. We have education being defunded year after budget year. We are in the streets saying, fund our schools, fund our communities, keep our libraries open. We are crying to keep open libraries while they are sitting in that building sending billions of dollars, $150 billion since 1948 to drop bombs on children. We drew this line here in June, and we are going to keep drawing this red line. We do not represent whatever you're talking about in that building has nothing to do with us. It has absolutely nothing to do with us. We are here. We have been consistently crying. When the U.S. sent money in 2019, we said no. When the U.S. funded the invasion of Haiti, we said no. When the U.S. funded the invasion of Iraq, we said no. We said no at every single point. When the U.S. declared the Black Panthers a terrorist group, we also said no. We are the people, and the people is what represents peace, freedom, and liberation. And I want to continue to make it clear. The people in that building, Hakeem Jeffries, Richie Flores, Blinken, all of those people, shame, shame, shame. But to specifically the elected officials who continue to run off of the backs of the progressive working class movement, who turn their backs to us and accept war criminals who are murdering people who look just like me and you, who continue to fund cop cities to arrest people who look just like me and you, who continue to train the NYPD in Israel to arrest black and brown people who look just like me and you do, we say no. That is not us. That has nothing to do with us. The conversations in that building happening right now have nothing to do with the needs of our communities, nothing to do with the conversations that we're having on the ground, and do not represent the ideals of us. Shame. We say yes to peace. We say no to war. Free Palestine.
Give it up one more time for Chris. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. I have the deepest and warmest honor to introduce our next speaker. This is Ayman Nijm from Gaza, who is a plaintiff in the case, the first case of its kind, with our comrades from the Center of Constitutional Rights, sued Biden, sued Austin, sued Blinken for genocide. Ayman is here with his family joining, and we will hear from him. Give him a hand, one real loud hand.
Thank you. Thank you. Palestine. Thank you, everyone. My wife and 3 kids are joining you today, not only as a family, but as voices of families who denied basic human rights in the most live-streamed genocide in recorded human history. Back in 2015, I was here in Washington, D.C., demonstrating against Netanyahu's visit, while we have a killing machine against the children. Gaza has been under a slow-motion genocide for 17 years, and now we are in the most live-stream, fast-motion genocide in our history. I am also here representing the plaintiffs and families of all of Palestine, of all of the indigenous people of Palestine. The families of victims who were murdered without compunction, without remorse, without contrite, who've been murdered in a live stream. Everyone can see our struggle, and so you have been aware Gaza became a mortuary, Gaza became a graveyard, but Gaza will still be engraved in our lives. I lived all of my entire life in Gaza, and we really, if you come to Palestine, you will fall in love with Gaza. We have the beautiful beach. We have the generous mother that I couldn't talk with her for the last 200 days.
All of my aunts are really spread all over Gaza, internally displaced for time and time again. It reminds us of 1948 Nakba, where 800,000 people were kicked out, forcefully kicked out from their indigenous land. It will be a reminder to us as indigenous people. So that's why I feel it is the deepest honor of my life to be a plaintiff of the genocide case against Biden, Austin, and Blinken for aiding and abetting genocide and fomenting genocide. Remember the first days. So we are unequivocally indigenous people. We are unequivocally, unapologetically indigenous people fighting to live in our own land. And as a plaintiff, as victims, as survivors, as everyone in Palestine, we will continue the battle of justice. The battle of justice is extremely long. It's extremely long, and we will keep fighting, but also we will do everything in our power to ensure that this government is held accountable for war crimes against humanity, genocide. Good news, while we are seeking an arrest warrant against Netanyahu, a few days ago, the Center for Constitutional Rights, hats off to the Center for Constitutional Rights for standing up with Palestine. The Center for Constitutional Rights has written to the Department of Justice, calling upon them to open an investigation into Netanyahu for war crimes and genocide while he's here. So, again, I am sending much love. We are immensely proud of our friends and supporters around the world who refuse to stand idly by and to be biased bystanders, but to be in the right side of history when you are supporting the indigenous Palestinian people and their right to self-determination, freedom, and liberation from the heinous crimes, from the heinous occupation of human history. Thank you.
I'm sure many of you saw an amazing thing that happened this week. 7 of the most significant unions in this country sent a letter to the White House demanding an immediate halt to all military aid to Israel. The Association of Flight Attendants, the American Postal Workers Union, the International Union of Painters, the National Education Association, the Service Employees International Union, the United Auto Workers, and the United Electrical Workers. Say it with me now. Say it with me now. Workers of the world unite. Palestine is our fight. Workers of the world unite. Palestine is our fight. Workers of the world unite. Palestine is our fight. Now I want you to give a warm welcome to the President of the American Postal Workers Union, Mark Diamondstein, and Brandon Mancia from the UAW.
Union solidarity greetings, fighters for justice. In the spirit of working class solidarity and justice, the American Postal Workers Union, AFL-CIO, stands with humanity and the suffering people, workers and unions of Gaza, in calling for a long overdue ceasefire and massive humanitarian aid to the 2.3 million people of Gaza, walled in, displaced, homeless, bombed, killed, injured, diseased, and starving behind the war crimes of the Netanyahu Israeli government, fully backed by U.S. military aid. Yes. just last week in our convention, we voted, quote, "We call on the U.S. government to halt all military aid to the Israeli government and to stop using our tax dollars for more war." End of quote. The billionaire class and corporations never pay their fair share of taxes, if at all. But workers do. And our tax dollars should never be used to bomb, maim, and kill innocent children, women, and men of Gaza, nor to enrich the U.S. military-industrial complex. It is shameful that Netanyahu, already charged with genocide and war crimes by the International Court of Justice, and with the blood of tens of thousands of children on his hands, has been invited by both the Democratic and Republican leadership to address Congress. This is but another bipartisan green light, along with billions more of military aid, to continue the carnage and brutality, and is increasing the very real danger of a wider war. The American Postal Workers Union is proud to have joined with other national unions, including the United Auto Workers, United Electrical Workers, the Association of Flight Attendants, the National Nurses Union, International Union of Painters, and the National Education Association, and the National Labor Network for Ceasefire. We stand with the vast majority of the people of our country and the world who support a ceasefire, humanitarian aid, peace, and freedom. As the main financial backer of the Israeli military machine, the White House has the leverage to stop the massacre. And it is a falsehood that criticizing the government of Israel and our own somehow equates to being anti-Semitic or anti-Jewish. As we are doing today, let us carry on with ever more urgency, increasing the pressure to compel our government to save lives by refusing to supply another bomb. It's great to be here, standing shoulder to shoulder with all of you. Solidarity forever.
Yeah, he's a war criminal. He should be in jail. And
What kind of power? People power. Who's got the power? What kind of power? I'm gonna try union power now, right? Who's got the power? What kind of power? Union power.
they aren't seeing the truth that's on the ground. People are dying. Kids are being killed. They don't care. Yeah.
And if you could send one message to our representatives, what would that be about this war?
Yeah. Learn the history. Fight for humanity.
Thank you. Thank
Love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We also would not be here today if it wasn't for the work of so many people behind me, the rank and file workers of our union. Why is a ceasefire and an end to arms shipments to Israel a labor issue? I'll tell you why. Because auto workers in Dearborn, Michigan have been personally affected by this issue and have
Well, we have to ask you your name. Is that okay?
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just Palestinian, so.
Yeah. Okay. When you're ready.
I was just trying to figure out where my cousin is. Apparently nobody.
Oh no, back there. They might have to go around. Yeah.
Figure out. Okay.
Could you tell me your? Oh, I'll hold it. Can you tell me your name and spell it for me?
Naveen, Neveen.
Are you okay with your last name or no?
No.
Okay. And are you visiting?
Nope, I live in the area.
Great. And what is important about you being here today, Naveen?
I am a Palestinian. My father was a survivor of the Nakba. My mother was displaced from Jerusalem.
when they were both young, and we are a family who was displaced to this country. Palestine is like in my heart. I feel it as a person who is a cycle of displacement, that as somebody living in the States, as a U.S. citizen, it's my duty as a Palestinian to make sure my people are free.
And how do you feel about Benjamin Netanyahu being here today?
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to, and honestly, it's a slap in the face to not just the Arab American community in America, but all people, all people. We shouldn't be giving our money to another foreign government to bomb innocent people.
And if you had to say one thing to Congress about this war, if you could give them a message, what would it be?
I have a lot, but end the arms embargo, ceasefire now, and free Palestine.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Give me 1 second, I got to...
So an update on the blockades. As the police move in, like water, our comrades leave and reassemble somewhere else. Wherever the motorcade goes, the people are there to stop it. Wherever it turns, our people are there to face it. No matter where you go, baby, the people are in your face. When you sleep, we're in your head. We're in your nightmares. This energy is exactly why they spent tens of millions of dollars on police from New York, because of this energy right here and the unity you show. Let's keep the energy up and bring a warm welcome.
And where are you from?
I live here in D.C.
Great. And what brought you out here today? Why is it important for you to be here?
Well, I think it's a scandal that Netanyahu is speaking at the Capitol today. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that the United States is standing in international venues and talking about how it defends international law and protecting people from genocide. And here a genocidal war criminal is being publicly celebrated and addressing the Congress. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting.
Then how do you feel that Congress is, has him here today? What would you tell them if you could give them a message?
I think they should take the opportunity issued by the ICC and arrest him while he's right there speaking. I think that would be great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Palestine will live forever! Palestine will live forever! That's right! That is not simply a slogan. That is not simply a chant. That is a promise. Because there are people in the belly of the beast that are committed and that are stubborn about our liberation. There are people who have gained more clarity in the last 9 months than they have in decades. There are people who have become fighters for liberation in the belly of the beast and are willing to sacrifice it all for liberation. It is historic. It is historic to see the student movement, to see the labor unions, to see all types of organizations from the grassroots standing with one cause in mind and in heart, and that is the freedom, the total liberation of Palestine. Palestine has freed us all.
Maybe this guy.
It is clear that the United States government, be it Republicans or Democrats, whatever new phase of imperialism they are trying to bring.
Mike Fasoli, how are you? Good.
We
could I have you tell me and spell your first and last name, please?
My name is Michael Prentice, M-I-C-H-A-E-L-P-R-E-N-T-I-C-E.
And you live here in D.C.?
In Maryland, close, yeah, right outside D.C.
Maryland resident, great. And what is important about you being here today in this moment?
I think it's important to show like a visual representation that the American citizens don't support the policies of our upper class. They don't support the policies of our elected officials. We are in a rogue kind of administration that are disconnected from the people. So I think it's important to come out and show the world that the American people, our policies are not popular with the American people. If that makes sense.
And how do you feel about Netanyahu being here today in Congress?
Oh man, I think it's crazy that he gets better treatment than, like, he gets higher security than like the State of the Union. We were protesting there too. So it's just crazy to see the VIP treatment he gets. They have New York police. They came down on a bus to come and act as his bodyguards. So it's just crazy to see these foreign nationals get this VIP treatment over American interests, over the safety of American citizens. They were sending out letters as well threatening us. If anyone were to demonstrate in the Capitol building, they would get arrested. So it's maddening. He's like a lightning rod that shows the contradiction of the entire affair, I think.
And my last question for you is, if you could give a message to Congress about this war, what would that be?
I think it's time to shift the American policy toward a multipolar world. I think our politicians are aging, and their doctrine is also aging. They're not keeping up with the times, and we need to change our policy to be more friendly to a multipolar world. And we can't do this take over the world kind of big stick democracy anymore. This big stick kind of diplomacy anymore. So hopefully they can update their policies with the times and listen to the American people, and create a better example for the world domestically instead of trying to just use the military approach.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Now that Biden is no longer in the race, what are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts on Harris potentially being?
Sorry, thoughts on Biden leaving?
Yeah, and potentially Harris being the nominee.
I think it's disappointing because throughout the previous administration, Harris really hasn't shown up. There's no doctrine associated with her. She has no ideology, no principles. She just asks, like, whatever will get your vote, I will do it. So it's really disappointing to have these back-to-back administrations without ideology, no doctrine. And for us as voters, we're going to the poll and we don't know, like, what's the difference except aesthetics, except certain dog whistle terms. But between Trump and Kamala, I'm struggling to see the difference outside of course, aesthetics and things like this. So I really wish that there was more at stake at the ballot, and it felt like we had a choice,
And then is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I got nothing. Thank you for your time. Thank you,
sir.
Take care.
One more.
Against the possibility of a Palestinian state. Haram! They speak of peace while funding apartheid. Haram! While prisoners are tortured and children are being mauled by dogs. I don't know much, but I do know this is not what God wants. I hear Allah's tears outside my window. Adonai's wails burn my ears. The world ignores while the universe screams. Before the West destroyed our communities, my family lived amongst our Muslim and Christian neighbors in Khalab, Aleppo. Western powers have used Zionism to steal this from us. They did not
against Bibi Netanyahu's visit here. I happen to be the founder and director of the Palestine Museum US in Woodbridge, Connecticut.
And how do you feel about Netanyahu being here?
He's a war criminal and he's polluting our city here. And the people that invited him are just as bad as he he is.
If you could give those people, those Congress people, a message about this war, what would it be?
Stop the war and live up to the principles of the America. Live up to what America is all about. Justice for all, freedom, liberty. They're trampling on all these principles that the country was based on to please Israel and to please Netanyahu.
And now that President Biden is leaving the race, how do you feel about Vice President Kamala Harris maybe taking charge if she gets in about this war?
No difference. They're all made of the same cloth, and that cloth is an AIPAC cloth. And they all support AIPAC. They're fed on AIPAC, and they're 100% supporters of Israel. None of them have any sympathy for or empathy for Palestinians. Palestinian children don't matter to them. The 10, 15,000 killed make no difference to them, and they don't care about that. All they care about is Israeli hostages going home. They don't talk about that 15,000 Palestinian hostages that Israel holds.
Are you hearing anything from people at your museum that are speaking about the war, and what kind of feeling are you getting from people from the museum?
Most people we see are against the war, are against what's happening. They want the U.S. to use its power to stop Israel and stop sending weapons to Israel. Only the leadership in the country and the political powers are supporting Israel. The majority of Americans are not supporting the war.
Anything I didn't ask you that you want to touch on?
I can't think of, but...
Who do you think is the best candidate to end what's going on in Gaza?
The best candidate? Jill Stein. She's the only one that speaks from her heart and speaking from an American point of view. What do we stand for in America? Freedom, liberty, justice for all. She's the one that has that in mind. Everybody else is willing to trample and trash the Constitution, trash First Amendment right, pass all this legislation that makes every criticism of Israel to be anti-Semitic. That's obviously unconstitutional, and that is really not the American way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir.
Food and water, putting 500,000 at risk for starvation in this month alone. We say this is where it ends. We are standing up, and the tide is turning because we together are making it turn. We We've seen the union standing up. We've seen Starbucks going down. We've seen the port of Eilat just declare bankruptcy from blowback from this genocide. And we've seen 75 countries all around the world say it's time for Palestinian sovereignty and independence. We say no to the Zionist apartheid state. We will stand up and we will free Palestine together, all of us together. Thank you so much.
One more time for Dr. Joe Stein, everyone. You know, we're getting reports about the police not knowing what to do with these moving blockades. They're tripping over each other. They're running into each other. They're giving each other mixed messages. New York's finest what? DC's finest what? Tens of millions for what? The people will always win. Next, before I introduce the next speaker, we found a phone on a bench. If you lost your phone, your mom is calling you a lot. I'm sure she's very worried. Please come to the side. We'll try to sort this out. But please put your hands together for a speaker from Harriet's Wildest Dreams, Nene Taylor, a DC native and one of the PYM chapter here's closest allies who have been with us every step of the way. When the students were brutalized by the police, they were early in the hours of the morning. They were the first ones on the scene. So please, with everything you have, let's welcome Nene Taylor to the stage.
right here in Washington, D.C. I'm a D.C. native. Welcome to my city. Today I stand before you brokenhearted with my sisters, Linda and Mimi, because our struggles intersect. I want to shed light on two pressing issues that demand unresisting actions: an ongoing genocide in Palestine and the systematic police violence that's happening to black people in America. These two distinct issues are deeply interconnected and reflected at a broader pattern of injustice and oppression that plagues our world. In Palestine, we are witnessing an inhumanitarian unfolding right in front of our eyes. For decades, Palestine people have suffered under the brutal occupation of apartheid policies of the Israel government. The relentless violence, displacement, and discriminations faced by Palestinians constitute a clear case of genocide. At the same time, I want y'all to hear this. At the same time, right here in America, we are confronted with another form of injustice: systematic police. Our black communities continue to bear a brunt of police brutality and discrimination. The killing of unarmed black individuals like Sonia Macy. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. She was shot in the face while in her home calling for help for the police. Right now, Harriet's Wildest Dreams is fighting for justice for Delano Martin, Lazarus Wilson, Troy Bullock, Marvin J., Jeffrey Price, Kevin Hargrave, Arthur Porter, nationally, Kareem James. Yo, too many to name, particularly disturbing intersection of these two issues, the same militarized tactics and technologies used to oppress the Palestinian people are often deployed against us, marginalized community. You see it today. You see it today. You see it today. The system that was never built for us or structured for us to keep us safe needs to be dismantled. The exchange of tactics and technology between the Israeli military and American law enforcement further entrenches the cycles of violence and oppression. I'm going to end this now. As concerned global citizens, we must recognize the interconnection of these struggles and stand in solidarity with those who are fighting against oppression and injustice. We must demand accountability for human rights violations both in Palestine and in America. We must push our government to uphold international laws and respect the rights and dignity of all individuals, regardless of their race, religion, and nationality. In conclusion, let us remember that the fight for justice and equality knows no borders. We must join hands across continents and oceans to challenge the system of oppression that perpetrates violence and suffering. Together, we can work towards a world where every individual, whether in D.C., Palestine, Congo, Sudan, or America, can live free from fear and discrimination. We rise up in solidarity. We ask of the Palestinian Congress, we stand in solidarity with our Palestinian comrades and ask them to arrest that war criminal. Arrest. I don't even want to say his name. His name is not deserving. But we stand in solidarity and say, arrest that war criminal. I charge everyone that's on here today to continue to rise up and fight back. We're not free until all of us free. We're not free until all of us are free. We're not free until all of us are free. Ashe.
One more time for Harriet's wildest dreams, everybody. They did give me a request. They want me to announce to you all when you have a moment, go to ceasefiresong.com. That's right, ceasefiresong.com. That's what the song they were singing earlier. So up next, put your hands together, let's give another warm welcome to Brian Becker, the National Director of the Answer Coalition.
Sisters and brothers, we've been building this demonstration for the past 4 weeks. And I have to tell you, this has not been a normally organized demonstration. And I want to explain a little bit to you about what happened. Normally, you come to Washington, D.C., and you assemble, and the government says you're exercising your First Amendment right to redress grievances, and that's what democracy really means. Well, we've been trying to organize this demonstration for the past 4 weeks, and I can tell you that the police agencies, the government agencies of all types, have done everything in their power to disorganize this movement and make sure this would not happen, but we are here. Look around the area. There are snow plows, police barricades, 8-foot high fencing. This U.S. Capitol Capitol, which says to itself, we are the people's house, it should be renamed. It should be called Fort Netanyahu, because it looks like a fortress right now with all of this police barricades. The New York City Police Department that has been brutalizing and arresting and beating protesters. The New York City Police Department has sent 200 cops to Washington, D.C. to join in Fort Netanyahu because that's who they serve. They say the police motto in New York is serve and protect. Well, right now, they're serving and protecting a genocidal lunatic who's addressing both houses of Congress. Just think of what we've created, though. We have the Postal Workers Union, the United Auto Workers Union, 7 major labor unions are now standing with this movement. That means a change has come. This is no longer the labor movement of George Meany when people said it was the AFL-CIA. We're going to have a new day in labor, where the labor movement, workers, stand with all of those who are oppressed. Stand with Palestine. Stand with Cuba. Stand with Venezuela. Stand against imperialism. They said we're going to disorganize you. You won't march. When this rally ends, sisters and brothers, nothing they can do will stop us from assembling and marching, because that's our right. Free Palestine.
Give it up for Brian from Answer. Our next speaker is a special guest. She joined us on the front lines from day one of this genocide. She is a mother, an actress, and an activist. Give it up for Susan Sarandon.
We are here today to reject the normalization of genocide. In 290 days, the death toll surpasses 39,000, and according to Lancet, will reach as much as 186,000 deaths. 90,000 injured. 10,300 women killed, 15,700 children killed. This is not normal. Over 152 journalists killed. Over 152 journalists killed, and healthcare doctors 570. 676 injured. Never before have so many journalists been killed. In all the wars put together, 182. This is not normal. Damaged schools, 476. Mosques, 700. Churches, 3. Completely destroyed homes, 153,750. UN staff, 366 killed with their families. And we can say that this is a minimum in terms of approximation because of all the deaths due to starvation, bodies still under rubble, bodies completely vaporized, So these are just low estimates. I would now like for all of you to join me in a message to our brothers and sisters in Palestine. We see you. We see you. We hear you. We hear you. And we will raise your voices. No one is free until everyone is free. No one is free until everyone is free. Liberation of Palestine.
One more time for Susan Sarandon. I've just got word that they've moved to another intersection that's currently being blocked off on 10th Street. Give it up, everybody. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going like we keep going. Shut the whole city down. This energy in the middle of a weekday is exactly why we are going to win. No matter the weather, no matter the time of the week, no matter the obstacles, no matter the number of police officers they bring, none of it matters when we're united and we're in the streets together. So please give another warm welcome to Imam Suhaib Webb from Center, D.C.
Assalamu alaikum. Since October 7th, but for many of us well before October 7th, since the 1940s and even before that, there's a number of emotions that we've experienced. But I think if we were looking for a word to encapsulate how we feel, it would be boiling. We are boiling. And let's not forget what happened on July 6th when Sonia Massey was killed while she was boiling her water. And the reason I say that is that boiling has a benefit. It kills parasites. It fights disease. It removes filth. And in the name of her death, boil now! Claims to be committed to freedom and equality. Boil! Boil at student encampments, Generation Z, who inspired this country and now have been vilified, kicked out of school, doxxed, had their future threatened because they stood for Palestine. They stood for which there is no moral challenge whatsoever. Boil for them. Boil for the carceral state that continues to imprison in the name of law and order large numbers of black folks and Latinos, where we see white folks get off. Boil! The death of our sister Sonia Massey be in vain. Carry the spirit of her boiling water wherever you go. Stand in the face of politicians who exhibit moral values, who parrot slogans, and let them know that boiling water cleans filth. That boiling water will not stay quiet. That boiling water may evaporate into the air only to fall back and grow fruit and seeds. Let them know that you boil in the name of righteousness and that you're on the right side of history. Free Palestine.
Palestine. Assalamu alaikum.
Everything in its way, including its own dealers right here in the U.S. scrambling to keep the wool over our eyes as they fund the most heinous genocide of our lifetime. Shame! But we can't unsee what we've seen. 9 months of collective grief brings us collective clarity. 292 days of rage has changed us forever. And through it all, we understand that nothing compares to what the people of Gaza have had to endure. So we've stayed focused, and despite moments of discomfort, sometimes hopelessness, we've remained steadfast, and we have a renewed sense of hope today. How dare they even try to bring this war criminal to our streets? You know, he flew here directly because he was afraid to stop in Europe because they'd arrest his ass. But this visit is not about Netanyahu. This is about our country's complicity in toting this so-called democracy, crossing every single fucking red line that the people have